dive right in here to asking the right questions. Again, this is going to be a really important area if you are first starting your journey into finding some sort of outsource to help you with your digital marketing right now. Asking the right questions can make the difference between you finding the right agency or not. It can make the difference between you starting off on the right foot, having the correct goals set, and having the right expectations set too, which ultimately can help you find and prove that success. So first and foremost, why now and what's the end game? Ask yourself, why are you now looking for an agency to help? Do you have some bandwidth issues currently? Is it an expertise issue? Anything like that. Figuring out the why is going to be really important to understanding then what's the end game. Be sure to have a clear understanding of your own expectations, what the goals of your business are, what the goals of your department are, and ultimately what you hope to achieve when you have a relationship with an agency. It's really important to remember that having these set doesn't mean they're perfect and doesn't mean they're always right. You're looking for further expertise through this agency. So you may come in with a why and you may come in with some expectations, but the right agency will always help you pivot those to appropriate, feasible expectations that can be impactful and actually attainable. Especially, like I said, if you are looking for further expertise, if you don't feel confident enough in the expertise that your company currently has in whatever area you're looking for at an agency, you want to make sure that you are open to hearing the feedback from the agency that you're talking to about what your expectations and your goals are. If you've worked with an agency before, it's super important to be retrospective. Ask the important question of why didn't it work last time? If it didn't, if you felt there were anything that went wrong, felt there were any roadblocks, anything like that, being able to call those out and clarify those for yourself will also benefit your future agency and what went wrong. This helps future partnerships really thrive because you're allowing a new agency to then fill in the gaps from your past experiences. If you felt that your last partnership didn't have enough transparency and education, if you felt that the campaigns were ones that proved to you that your agency wasn't listening to you and what you wanted, or your ideas, and learning how to morph them into a combined project or campaign. So it's really important that you clarify that for yourself, so that you can also see success in the future. You want to start off on the right foot with your next agency or your next partnership, because again, that's really going to help you find the success that you're striving for. This can also help you see a bigger picture. Were the issues that you saw before, lack of experience by your agency or yourself, were you and your company actually the bottleneck? Which is an important question to figure out. If you do find that it was because you weren't fully prepped for the amount of involvement you would have, that can be really important to know moving forward, especially if it's because you don't feel like you were given enough collateral to be enabled to really be as involved as you needed to be. So it can be important to really get that point across to your next partnership, agency, contractor, whoever it might be, so that they can help set you up for success, so that they can go at your pace and ensure that you feel confident and enabled to speak on your behalf for the department and the projects you're working on with your agency, and really kind of evangelize all of the campaigns that you're working on at that time. So figuring out what are your goals is also going to be really important. And what does the agency recommend? I think that's going to be important to pay attention to. You need to make sure you're working with them and they're working with you to craft your goals, because that'll definitely be a winning approach and your first chance to see if your agency can really prove their worth. It's also an effective way to avoid setting the wrong goals. So that's why it's important to see if the agency does actually make recommendations to your goals, to help you kind of mold those into more feasible and attainable goals. Because a lot of mistakes can be made when you may be a company that hasn't, dipped your toes in the water with digital marketing campaigns like SEM or SEO. That also means then you don't really know what the right goals are for you. So you'll either be doing one of two things: setting goals that are too broad, or setting goals that are too specific or unreachable. When you kind of go in knowing a bit of jargon about the area you're looking for help with, things like more traffic and conversions, those are definitely good goals, but obviously you'll need to set more specific goals in order to truly track success. So you'll want to look for the guidance of your new agency to help make more detailed goals and recommendations against the actual data trends that you're seeing now. On the other end of the spectrum is too specific or unreachable. Obviously, you want to be specific, but you don't want to be specific to a point where you're setting goals that aren't feasible for your industry or for the current state of your data. So again, if your goal is something like we need to end our year with 125K sessions, when you're currently only averaging about 3K a month, your goals might be a little too unreachable. Dependent on, again, what your industry looks like, what your competitors are doing, and what they're seeing with their data, and according to the data trends you see so far. You really want to make sure that ultimately, yes, you're setting a goal that's going to make everyone happy and that's really going to prove out success, but you also actually want to reach it. So, you want to make sure that you do set something that is according to the data and you aren't just reaching for words that you've heard from other agencies or other companies who've done this as well. You want to make sure that this is unique and customized to you, and what's actually going to prove out success for you as a company. You also want to make sure you're ready for a long-term commitment. As someone in the SEO department, I can tell you that some of your goals are certainly going to require long-term strategies, which also mean they may have some frustrating data returns. This can be really nerve-wracking if you have gone into this search expecting immediate results. A lot of results within SEO can take pretty long-term strategies for you to finally get to that point that you want to be. So something that's important to look out for, aside from asking yourself if you're ready for the long-term commitment, is also to ask yourself, is your agency that you're talking to being honest and transparent about timelines? Oftentimes you will see a variety of project timelines that you'll be working on in concurrence in the SEO world, because it can be such a strenuous and frustrating area of digital marketing. We oftentimes strive to have some quick wins, those low-hanging fruits that we can really attack quickly, see some little bit of positive data movements, against some longer-term strategies that we'll be working on in the background as well. Again, it's kind of to help with that antsiness you might feel when you first dive into SEO, because this can definitely be an area where there are a lot of longer-term strategies in order to get those true data returns you're looking for. So like I said, make sure you're ready for the long-term commitment. Your expectations are set to, be ready for longer-term strategies and standing up internally when you do have some frustrating data returns. But on top of that, keep that eye out for your agency to be honest about timelines and how long it's going to take to actually reach the goals that you set. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what I can leave you with in terms of the right questions to be asking. You want to make sure you're looking out for transparency and proven expertise. So again, your agency should be brutally honest, and help to educate you from the start. If you come into a call, you already know what you think your goals should be. They should be there to let you know if your goals are unattainable and how they hope to help you approach setting appropriate goals and how they hope to help you reach them. On top of that, they should also be willing to share some sort of track record. Dependent on how young or old your agency is will really depend on what kind of collateral they have to share with you, but they should be willing to jump the gun and share whatever they can at the end of the day. If it is case studies, great. If it's video testimonials, great. If it's maybe just hopping on the phone with another company that they've worked with in a relative industry, that's great. As long as they're willing to help you hear about their track record and really prove themselves out to you, that's what's going to be really important for you. Their eagerness to show you that they can be the right fit for you and they can help you.